Greetings, geeks and geekeras. It is me, I am back. Here for episode 2 of Rise. Yeah, I'm keeping this thing going. For those of you that tuned in to episode 1, thank you. Honestly was a little worried, but hopefully that means that this will get at least decent numbers. For my channel, at least. But anywho, before we get into it, quick warning here. I will be going into spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back, let me know what you think in the comments below. Alright, so, this episode, like last week, was really good, but kind of hard to recap. So, we pick up where we last left off last week. The principal thinks that Ted, who I've now figured out his name's Lou, hopefully I'll keep that and not call him Ted. No promises. Lou gets blamed for the costume burning, and so he's like, you guys don't have a budget this year. Your costume budget is 0 this year because of that. And he's like, okay, well, we can find something to do in the future. There's a teacher meeting coming up, and I just want to show my presence, say I'm here, and just get my foot in the water. Don't try to ask for money too quick and put a bad eye on myself. So he does, and he gives an actually really good speech. And then semi-dickhead coach comes in, calls it a flowery speech, which, fuck you. Sorry. Bad memories. Sorry, did not mean to do that. I apologize. Anyway. So, he passes it over to someone else, and they say that they need a Jumbotron for the school. A freaking Jumbotron. And Lou is not happy, but biting his tongue. Rosie, who I hadn't gotten down her character name, sorry. So I'm just gonna call her Rosie. Rosie cannot hold her tongue, and so she's like, that is bull. We need money for costumes, for drama. And honestly, she does get some money. Doesn't get all the money that she asked for, but some. Which is a minor victory, but Lou still yells at her. Partly because he's still new to this, partly because it kind of undermines him. Also, he's going through some crap in his own personal life with his oldest son, who has a drinking problem, but refuses to admit it. And then, Lou gets the principal to come in and open up his, break open his lock on his locker and goes through it and does find a bottle of alcohol. So they have a meeting, principal, coach, because the son's on the football team, which I really didn't even figure out until this episode. So they have a meeting with the son, the football coach, both parents, and the principal. And they want to send him away to school, to a rehab facility kind of thing. And he doesn't like it. Lou doesn't really like it, and Coach doesn't like it. Because Coach claims that he's a good kid. Which is like news to our ears, but then after some prodding, Lou finds out that basically they took the whole kind of typical story that you see with a musician in high school type or artsy person type thing and flipped it to where part of his drinking is just because of the fact that he feels like he's disappointing his parents with the fact that he's the only person in this family that's not artsy, that doesn't have some type of art thing. But apparently he is good at football. Which that's an interesting flip, I will say. Also, now I'll just go into several subplots that happen throughout the episode, because that's the only way that I know how to go through this. And so, since we're talking about subverting expectation and the coach, we get more into the coach's life and his daughter, Gwen, who in episode 1 was kind of set up to be the mean girl. But we give more depth to her character this episode. Lillette apologizes to her for her mother, said that she didn't know about it. Then we get stuff with her at home and how her mom's kind of mad that she didn't get the lead, but really Mom's also mad about Dad because Dad cheated in the first episode. Don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, Dad cheated in the first episode with Lillette's mom, and it wasn't a one done thing. So yeah, and we get to see her like express all of that through getting mad at Lou, which then kind of ends in a really cool feely scene where Lou talks honestly to her and says that he thinks that she could be better than she already is, and she's already really good. And he just feels like she'd better fit for that role. And then, all throughout the episode, she's having a hard time breaking that like typical me Broadway thing for her somber solo. And it ends with him walking out of the room, starting to walk out of the room while she sings it and puts like all of her emotion from her family life stuff into it. Really makes you feel some crap. Then you got the subplot with Lillette, who's kind of who sort of, I don't know if she expected it to be a date or not. Think she liked Robbie? I don't know. But I can tell you that Mom pushed it to be a date, and then it got canceled because his linebacker, I think that's what he was supposed to be, because he was catching his throws. So I think he was the linebacker. Sorry if I got that wrong. I'm not a big sportsy person. So his teammate guilts him into staying when he was supposed to be going on a kind of date to rehearse lines with Lillette. She gets her feelings hurt, goes off on him, and then he's like, okay, can we meet some other time? And she's like, I had to put work away. I had to take shift off work. And he's like, I didn't know. So they rescheduled for during her break. Feelings kind of blossom We have an indie kind of song playing in the background. They have milkshakes. They don't share a milkshake. They each have their own milkshake. I drink your milkshake. None of that going on. Sorry. Anywho, that happens. But then later on, we see him flirting with another girl and her kissing him. But she never really said it was an official date, so he doesn't really know. She kind of either felt like it was a date or got pushed by her mom into feeling that it was a date. I'm kind of a little bit girl blind, so I think that that's factoring into this not knowing thing. But anyway, she gets her feelings hurt. Then we got the subplot with, I want to say his name is Simon. I don't know. If it's not, I'm sorry. But it's the kid who is usually the lead, is obviously closeted gay, and had a hard time even playing a gay character. Which things start to little bit blossom between him and this other kid, this other guy. But he's fighting it because he comes from a heavy religious family. So instead he asks out Barb from Stranger Things, who's clearly into him. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the character's name, so I'm just calling her Barb. I feel kind of bad for her because she's sort of a pseudo beard without even knowing it. But then when you think that that's just all the worst things happening with him, boom, we also have this stuff with his parents. Because his parents go to the priest, and the priest is like, yeah, if he feels like it's what he should do, then he should do it. I know the subject is a little mature, but it's also pretty relevant and pretty good for growing of age. And parents are like, fuck this. We're enrolling you in Catholic school. And that's the bomb that ends his character. And I believe the episode itself. Only other thing that I want to bring up about the episode is Michael, the trans kid. They had a cool moment with him where he asked to be put into the changing room with the guys because it felt kind of weird being on his own. And Lou says, okay, let me talk to the guys. And he's like, no, I don't want to make it a big deal. So he goes into the locker room, tells the guys, and they accept him. There's no, even religious kid does, he doesn't like obviously say yes, I'm into it, but he also doesn't like show any disgust or disagreement with it, so I call that a win. And then we see him have the biggest smile secretly on his own, which good for you, kid. Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you like this episode, hit the like button. Let me know what you think about the show in the comments down below or about this review. If you like this face, maybe think about subscribing. I cover this show, Rise, Black Lightning, and Legends of Tomorrow. When that ends soon, I will be taking up Supergirl, picking that back up. Also, I might be picking up a fourth show tomorrow, which, if I'm thinking of the right day of its premiere date, which I might not. I might be confusing it with something else. But if it is what I think it is, then maybe expect a review tomorrow of another new show. Yes, that's right, doing 4 shows a week, at least for the next 4 weeks, until Black Lightning ends. Hopefully I can keep this up. I just have to remember to charge my damn camera. Anyway, thank you for watching. Till next time, and beyond.